you have that firm, resolute, and made up mind that will get you through whatever the next days may hold? Hi, this is Barry Phillips, a 10-minute tour, day 4 of Ayelach. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter number 31, and reread a couple of verses that we've already hit once. Verse 4 and following says, "And Yahweh shall do to them as he did to Sihon and to Og, the sovereigns of the Amorites and their land, when he destroyed them. Yahweh shall give them over to you, and you shall do to them according to all the command which I have commanded you. Be strong and courageous, do not fear nor be afraid of them, for it is Yahweh your Elohim who is going with you. He does not fail you nor forsake you." Israel is going in to face a yet to be known, counted, or determined amount of armies and well-fortified cities. They know that Yah is going to go with them, go before them, and ultimately they will succeed. But between where they are now and the ultimate success that they envision, there's a lot of warfare to be taken on. And as we read through the book of Yehoshua, we find that they didn't quite conquer all the land that they should have. As you get over into the book of Judges, Shoftim, you will find that there were numerous times, due to their failure to fully conquer the land and to fully drive out the Canaanites, that they had a great deal of problems for themselves. Now, when they had faced Og, the Amorites, according to various scholars, this man was somewhere between 9 and maybe even as tall as 13 feet tall. That's a huge human being. And yet, he was slain. We don't know who killed him or exactly the nature of his downfall, pun intended, but he was wiped out, and all those with him. He had no survivors remaining. And that was Yah's original intent for Israel, is that they would wipe out all of their adversaries. It's an understanding in the school of military thought. In order to win a war, you have to fully prosecute the war to the place where not only the men or armaments are defeated, but also the ideology behind whatever your enemy is driven by. And so we find, like in World War II, not only was Nazi Germany depleted of its military forces down to where it was old men and young boys defending the last stands of Berlin, but Nazi ideology, at least for a season, was eliminated. The Third Reich is no more. Now, Nazism has found its fans the world over, very sated, morbid people, if you will, but it, in large part, has been defeated. So it was that with Israel going into the land, they were to eliminate their adversaries to the full so that the ideology and the theology of idolatry would be eliminated. And Yah warned, if you don't take care of them, if you don't wipe them out, it's going to come back to haunt you. It's going to come back and cause you to have a downfall. And so he says that you are to be two things. Chazechu, that is, you are to be strengthened and hardened and resolute. And maybe we don't think of a hardened aspect of our walk as being necessarily righteous, but it's hardened in that the allure, the desires of this present world that would entice the flesh bounce off. We're hardened enough that it doesn't have the ability to penetrate. We have to recognize, where are my loopholes? Where are the openings in my armor? Where are and what are the thought processes by which I get entangled into a place of deceit and find myself in a tailspin? What causes me to lose traction and start spinning my wheels? And then it is the word amatsu, that is to begin, again, to be stout, to be hard, but to also be alert physically and courageous mentally. I am in a age group that we would be more inclined to, well, I got this mental thing down perhaps a little better. I am trying to be mentally alert and focused. It's that physical part that we tend to shy away from. And yeah, we could all use more exercise and perhaps a keener eye on our diet and our rest. But it's a combination of the two that is most effective. There is some writing found in the book of 1 Peter that is key for us today. In 1 Peter chapter number 1, beginning with verse 13, it says, "Therefore, having girded up the loins of your mind, be sober, set your expectation perfectly upon the favor that is to be brought to you at the revelation of Yeshua Messiah as obedient children, not conforming yourselves to the former lust in your ignorance. Instead, as the one who has called you is set apart, so you also should be set apart in all behavior. Because it has been written, be set apart, for I am set apart." Now, my understanding is to gird up the loins as applied to the dress of the day. When a man wanted to engage in physical labor, warfare, he's going to be out doing some, chopping of wood and so forth. He would reach between his knees and grab the back hem of his garment, this skirted garment, pull it between his legs, up in front, tie it through his belt, and it would cause then the skirts of his garments to become more like long shorts of sort. That way, his garment would not get in his way of moving with agility, with physical function of hard work or even warfare. So the same principle goes to your mind. Bringing your mind to a place where it is alert, where it's functioning, where we are focused, where we're not entangled in things that are non-productive. And that's very, very key. That we put our mind at a place where it is sharp and ready to go, rather than entangled. It says here that we are to gird up the loins of our mind and be sober and set our expectation upon the favor that is to be brought to you at the revelation of Yeshua. So that is that we have a keen focus upon the last days wherein our Messiah is going to return, that we keep that in the forefront of our mind. Easier said than done. Continuing in 1 Peter in chapter 5, beginning with verse 8, it says, "Be sober," again, "watch, because your adversary the devil walks about like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Resist him, firm in the belief, knowing that the same hardships are experienced by your brotherhood in the world. And the Elohim of all favor, who has called you to his everlasting esteem by Messiah Yeshua." And here are those wonderful and encouraging words. He says, after, not before, but after you have suffered a while. Oh, joy. Hallelujah. After you have suffered a while, himself perfect, establish, strengthen, and settle you. Things are not as commonly preached that once we give our life to Messiah and are born again, that it is a glory road of one supernatural experience after the other, one encounter of revival, ecstasy in our worship week after week after week, and that we're blessed, and more blessed. No, we're called to endure, to persevere, to overcome, to encounter and defeat whatever adversaries come before us. May mean some suffering, some hardship. May Yah strengthen, establish, and settle you as a result of all of that. Gird up your mind today, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. To then, shalom.